Do you know what time it is? It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. That only means one thing. This is the SportsGrid Network, and it's time for Pro Baseball Today. Weekly, we do this every single Sunday to get you caught up on the latest hot topics, but more importantly, handicapping every single game on the card on this Sunday. It is the month of August. I know people start to shift that focus over to the National Football League. So many preseason games in effect, but trust me on this. You need to know certain keys and information down the stretch, as we like to say, in the dog days of summer, which are right now. Donnie Rightside along with Tom Vecchio. In the next 2 hours, they're ours, Tom, right here on the SportsGrid Network.
We are ready to roll, as we were literally talking about just before we came on. There are some terrible pitchers on today's slate, and that's just not a theme or trend for today. That's something that we're going to see, in the closing weeks of the season, just because teams are calling up different players. They're going out there with openers, or they're testing guys out of what they're going to have for next year, whatever it might be. But some truly terrible pitchers. It's obviously still very nice out there. Some great hitting weather. We're also coming down to the stretch for teams that I really like to lean into, just because they're playoff-bound teams. We know what we're going to be getting from them. Their rotations are solid. Even if a starter's out there struggling just a little bit, they're going to let him go out there potentially for that extra inning, so that it puts him in a spot to continue to pick up his out recorded, his strikeouts recorded, whatever it might be. And, of course, we'll touch on the awards market. We got plenty to get to.
Some teams look like they might be giving up at the wrong time right now. Some teams striving for perfection and trying to hunt down some of those division leaders. So why don't we start, Tom, talking about some of these division leaders right off the bat? And usually we always start with the American League East, and why not? The Toronto Blue Jays, 68-50 right now, 3 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. However, the Blue Jays have dropped their last 2 games. The Red Sox lost their last game to the Yankees with a late home run yesterday, giving them a victory. But the Yankees sit 5.5 games back. Looks like the Rays are on that second shelf here, 11 back. And then there's the Orioles at 14.5. But it looks like it's a three-way race up top. Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Yankees for the American League East.
It has been absolute chaos, as the Yankees have been struggling over the past month and a half, whatever you want to call it. The Red Sox have been surging. And, the Red Sox traded away Devers, and, we didn't have high expectations for them. And they certainly struggled right after the trade, but they kind of found their footing and have been much better since. The Blue Jays scored 1 billion runs against the Rockies earlier this week. They lost the first 2 to the Dodgers, as you just said. And it's really going to come down to, I think, the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. One of those other teams will obviously take the wild card spot. And then the AL wild card race is absolutely crazy, which we can certainly dive into. And that comes down to the AL East mainly, and also the AL West between the Mariners and the Rangers.
How do we feel about the vibes of the New York Yankees? Again, in first place for so much of this season, now find themselves in third. And also, like the pitching matchups here, not really swaying to the Yankees' direction. You fortify the bullpen. The bullpen seems to be struggling right now. You're waiting for Aaron Judge to return back to that MVP form. It's a good-looking lineup on a day-to-day basis, but not always providing that. So if I ask you today, Tom, on August 10th, 2025, we got about, a month and a half left to go in the season. You feeling the Yankees being able to climb up the standings, jumping 2 teams to win the AL East?
No, I think they'll make the playoffs. Just full disclosure, as a Yankees fan, I did bet on them to miss the playoffs at plus 360. That's just so I get some type of silver lining out of it. If they do miss the playoffs, I think they make the playoffs, but they have 0 chance of winning the World Series. Like, they are not a good team. As I've said, over the past 2 weeks, between starting pitching, hitting, defense, and bullpen, like, they never get 3, even not 4 of 4. They didn't even get 3 of 4 on a game-by-game basis. They sometimes only get 2, even if just 1. Where in Miami, they had great pitching in one of those games, but then they got no hitting and the bullpen blew it. So they make the playoffs, but they do absolutely nothing when it's all said and done.
Yep, another Anthony Volpe error is right around the corner. Any given time for those New York Yankees here. We'll see how they pull up. But again, no really use talking about the Rays or the Baltimore Orioles, pretty much buried in the basement there of the AL East. Let's move over to the Central. This is getting interesting because you could have asked me multiple times this year. I don't care if it was May, June, July, maybe even late July. Look, don't panic on the Tigers. 12 games, 11 games, 10 games, 9 games. It's going to be just fine. The Tigers aren't out of first place. They're still in first place, Tom, by 5 games over the Cleveland Guardians. But you see, last 10 games, Detroit Tigers 5-5. Last 10 games, Guardians. Winners of 9 of 11 games, winners of 5 straight games. They're only 5 back now, and then the Kansas City Royals sitting at 8.5 back. The Detroit Tigers, so much fun this year, but now facing adversity with a month and a half left in the season. Do they have enough left in the tank? And also, it's the Guardians chasing you down. The Guardians didn't do anything at the trade deadline to help themselves out, and here they are surging up the leaderboard.
Yeah, not only did the Guardians not do anything to help themselves out, they also traded away Shane Bieber,
Yeah.
who could be coming back soon from his rehab
Yep.
starts. They decided to hold on to Stephen Kwan. Obviously, Clase is suspended. I would say that the Tigers get to the finish line in terms of winning the division, but it's not going to be easy. And man, they have to right the ship quickly because outside of Scooble, the pitching has not been good. Jack Flaherty's not having the best season. They go out and get Chris Paddock and Charlie Morton at the trade deadline, and those have been okay additions at best. The hitting, which was unbelievable to start the season, has come crashing back down to earth. So I think they will find their level, but they need to get things going quickly if they're going to hold off the Guardians and do anything in the playoffs.
No, we always know, Tom, like the ebbs and flows of a Major League Baseball season. Like they have a pretty good lineup. They have a pretty good bullpen.
Yeah.
They have good starting pitching with maybe the best starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. Like what has been the reason? Just it's a baseball season. You go through your ups and downs, or is it something that we haven't seen and maybe much deeper?
So when Kerry Carpenter got hurt with the hamstring injury about a month ago, that's when their lineup, I want to say, took a little bit of a step back. And then he comes back, and you're trying to mix and match different players. They make some trades at the deadline, and just with the injuries that they've had, like Casey Mize hasn't been the pitcher who is pitching today. He hasn't been super solid today. They lose pitchers due to starting injury, and then I think it's just they were overperforming a little bit. So they're not as good as they were early in the season, and they're not as bad as they are now. They're somewhere in the middle. It's going to take time to get back to that middle portion, and it's going to take the final 2 weeks of August for them to find that middle ground.
Yeah, we're going to need a 30 for 30 if the Tigers end up missing out on the playoffs and or just losing the Central Division to the Cleveland Guardians. That should never happen. Again, still 5 games, which is still a great lead here. And if you ask Tiger backers before the season, it's August 10th, 2025. How do you feel? We're 5 games up. You'd love it. You'd think it was the most fantastic season ever. But certainly have to take a look at that with this little pinch of salt and say, maybe it could have been much better. We should probably be up 20 games at this point, but they're not. The West, the Houston Astros, the Seattle Mariners, the Texas Rangers. If we look at the top of that division, the Astros, decent baseball right now, 5-5 with last 10, but look at the Seattle Mariners. Make a couple changes to that lineup. The bats start firing up, winners of 6 straight games and a half game back of the Astros. This is one of those teams, Tom, we talked about after that deadline. Boy, we liked what they did with that lineup. If the young starting pitchers can stay healthy the rest of the way, they can do damage. And you know what, Tom? They're doing damage.
They're doing great things right now. 6-game winning streak for them. We talked about the Astros a lot, and they went out and made some additions when it comes to their lineup. They obviously brought back Carlos Correa. They get Jesus Sanchez. They're making these moves because we know that Isaac Paredes is done essentially for the year. But they're still dealing with a ton of injuries overall as a team, especially when it comes to their pitching staff. So I've said before, I think attrition is getting to the Astros at a certain point, and you do not want a team like the Mariners chasing you down. And even the Rangers, I know they've lost a couple games in a row to your Phillies, Donnie, but they go out and get Merrill Kelly. So if you give me a starting rotation in a 3-game series of DeGrom, Eovaldi, Merrill Kelly, if Tyler Mahle comes back, that's a pretty good rotation to be chasing down a team that's dealing with injuries like the Astros. You got to be worried about the Rangers.
Yeah. This is pretty interesting, too, and looking at the Rangers, where sometimes just run into good teams like the Philadelphia Phillies. And yesterday, DeGrom was sensational right up until the 7th inning. At Max Kepler, of all people, with a huge 2 RBI double late in that baseball game to put the Phillies in the lead, and they stayed there for good. Duran's been fantastic. And they also get Zach Wheeler today, which we don't know about that shoulder injury or shoulder soreness. We'll get to that handicap a little bit later in the show. But just looking at the West, I love the Mariners. They're a fun team. The Astros, seems like we're waiting. Like, is Yordan Alvarez ever coming back to that lineup? Will they be as healthy as they need to be? Will they get that clutch hitting? Angels playing it out, Athletics playing it out. But boy, oh boy, if you tell me right now, a 3-team race of the Astros, Mariners, and Rangers, all within 3 games of each other in September, Tom, sign me up.
Oh, yeah. It's going to come down to the scheduling that they have of who plays who to end the season, who's got a favorable matchup, because I assume one of those last few series, one of those teams are going to be playing the Athletics or the Angels. Those could be a couple big wins to end the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's interesting. That's the ALs. We wrap it up. We're going to shift our focus over to the National League. What's going on with the New York Metropolitans, and can anybody stop the Brewers right now? It's all fun times. It's what we do on a Sunday morning right here on the SportsGrid Network.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on
National League time here, right here on the Pro Baseball Today show on a Sunday, each and every week, right here on the SportsGrid Network, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All the information you need, which includes handicapping, as well as getting you caught up on the latest hot topics, which does include the National League East and the Philadelphia Phillies, 7-3 in their last 10 games, coinciding with a 6-game losing streak for the New York Mets. I've said it time and time again, Tom, where I thought this every other week would start to shift back and forth, back and forth. The Phillies starting a pull away from the Mets with a 4.5-game lead, 10.5 over the Marlins, 17.5 over the Braves, and 21 games over the Washington Nationals. I don't want to focus just yet on the Philadelphia Phillies, but what is wrong, Tom, with the New York Metropolitans?
I guess when it rains, it pours. When the worst thing that they're going through also, as you said, coincides with the Phillies, cruising right now, essentially. And, the Mets, they made some additions to the bullpen at the deadline, which is great. No doubt about it. Having high leverage, trusted arms to come out of the bullpen is fantastic. But those arms are only going to be useful if you have a lead late in games. And if you don't have a lead late in games, it's either because A, your starting pitching is bad, or B, because your hitting is not coming through. So improving the bullpen is good, but that can only be useful if the other two things are doing their job, because if it's a close game, they can be in there. If you have the lead, they're in save situations. When those things don't happen, you don't make improvements to starting pitching, and you don't improve the lineup, well, that bullpen is irrelevant at a certain point. So the Mets are not hitting right now. Their starting pitching is absolutely terrible. They were fantastic really through June, one of the best ERAs and overall metrics in baseball, and that has all come crashing down. So not looking good for the Mets right now. And dare I say, there's a chance right now they are on the outside looking in when it comes to the wild card, which we wouldn't have said even 2 weeks ago.
No, you're taking a look at the Chicago Cubs, the Cincinnati Reds, let's just say the San Diego Padres, and maybe even now the Giants, even 5-5 in the last 10. They got 59 wins. The Mets only have 63 wins. So it looks like it was a foregone conclusion of who we thought would make the playoffs. And then you take a look at some of those, swoons that you have, which we saw that in the month of June and some parts of July. Then the Mets sort of hit that winning streak, and now they're back to a losing streak of 6 games. With the Phillies playing good baseball, we'll focus on them now in Texas right now, handling their business. But the one thing that always goes, the hitting is sometimes with the Phillies going to be hit or miss, and it looks like it's stepping up more than not. They fortified their bullpen, got one of the best closers in the game. He's been absolutely lights out since coming over from the Minnesota Twins. But also, that Phillies starting pitching staff, it's an embarrassment of riches. Like when Taijuan Walker is giving you good innings now, Aaron Nola back on the mend, a couple of really good rehab starts. Jesus Luzardo just went toe-to-toe with Jacob deGrom yesterday in Texas. It really is crazy, where now you're saying to yourself, okay, let's just see what we get out of who we thought would be their best pitcher today in Zach Wheeler. He got pushed back from a Friday start to a Sunday start to sort of give that little bit of more rest time on the shoulder. But the Phillies playing good baseball, Mets playing bad baseball. That's a great combination if you want to win the division, Tom.
It really is. And, a part of me just kind of thinking out loud here is like a part of me is actually interested in taking some unders on Wheeler. And I know like it may sound a little bit crazy, but like under on outs,
right.
under on strikeouts. Like, why is that? It's like, well, we have Suarez, we have Luzardo, we have Nola back. It's like, we actually have a lead now in the division, and we could theoretically ease off of Wheeler just to give him, like you said, a little bit extra rest. He doesn't need to be out there for 8 innings. Give me 5.1, 5.2, even if he has a perfect game after 5. We would have greater things at hand. That's the postseason and the World Series. So we actually can ease off of Wheeler because of the 4.5 game lead, because the bullpen's so good, and because the other starting pitchers are so strong. The Phillies actually, like, they can be on cruise control. Like 6 weeks left of the season. I know it's a little bit crazy to say, but like ease off of Wheeler, everyone else do their part, and we will be primed for October 1st.
Yeah, you might say today too, like, hey, good, Manaea's on the mound. He should get a win because who's this guy, Quinn Priester? We're going to get to him in just a few moments. So why don't we switch over to the Central right now and talk about those Milwaukee Brewers. 72-44, the best record in Major League Baseball. 8 straight victories here, winners of 9 of their past 10 games. Now a 5-game lead over the Cubs. This was supposed to be the Cubs division, Tom, where they run away with it. They have a couple games. Milwaukee stinks, and the Reds aren't going to do much. The Cardinals will fall back, and there's always the Pittsburgh Pirates. And here are the Brewers staking their claim as, yep, we're Christian Yelich, and we're a lot more than that. We win damn near every day.
I think it was last week specifically when Mizorowski was scratched on Sunday. Correct. They were at the Nationals, and that was coming off the heels on either Friday or Saturday where Jackson Chourio was placed on the IL, where I said, like, this is a big time for the Brewers. Like, this is time, rubber meets the road. They got to prove it right now. They're missing arguably their best hitter or one of their best hitters. Their young ace, I'm not going to say he's their best pitcher. And what have they done since then? They've won this entire week since last Sunday when they have players stepping up. They're getting timely hitting. They're getting big home runs at times. They're getting good pitching when they need it. And they have secured a solid lead in the NL Central. Fantastic stuff from the Brewers. And if you're not looking to back them in some capacity, I don't know what you're doing at this point.
Yeah, we're done the point of, it's like, oh, they're a fun team, they're a nice team, but eventually they'll go away. They've had months to go away, and they're still extending their lead now over the Chicago Cubs. I find it fascinating to watch it play out, and how much of a player can they actually be once we get to the month of October. We'll certainly see that. Let's head out to the NL West, which is always going to be fun. The Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. If you want bad pitchers, you got them. If you want great hitters, you got them. Everything you have is encapsulated right here in the West, and that means the Dodgers have a 3-game lead right now. Winners of 2 straight games, 6-4 of their past 10, but the Padres right on their heels, Tom. 3 games back, 7-3 in their last 10. The question's going to be is, do the Dodgers have enough in the tank to cross that finish line first? The odds market will tell you absolutely they do, as they are a heavy favorite, but they're getting pressure now from the San Diego Padres.
They are the one thing I've been worried about for the Dodgers, as everyone across baseball has been talking about, is their health. And, Blake Snell comes back. He looked good last night. He was obviously back last week against the Rays. And, gave him a couple home runs against the Rays last week, but he had piled up strikeouts. Max Muncy is now back. Like, they're starting to get the pieces together. The ball's, finally starting to get rolling, because that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Glasnow. We're waiting for Snell. We're waiting for Max Muncy. Tommy Edman is now on the IL, but I think they're getting the ball rolling, and it's the kind of thing where, like, they will reach their peak as the end of September rolls around. And even all the struggles that Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman have had throughout the year, if they're peaking at the right time, that's all that matters. And I don't know how many teams can beat them when it's all said and done.
How about a team in this division, Tom, with a run differential of minus 322, and we're in the beginning of August? That's the Colorado Rockies. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who's in the lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're probably going to hit again today. And by the way, sneaky Colorado Rockies on a day-to-day basis, where they do rack up some RBI and some runs here. So shout out them still trying, as they sit 37.5 games back of the Dodgers in the NL West race here. But it's a Dodgers division. It's always been that way, and they're priced that way as well. We'll see if they can hold up the Padres. And if you get maybe a spoiler down the stretch, possibly in the Giants, as we talked about, maybe chasing down a wild card spot because some of those teams struggling ahead of them. We'll find out. Let's get to the awards market. I told you it was always Ohtani. Let's check those numbers.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on
MVP awards markets here in both the National League and the American League. Donnie Rightside here, Tom Vecchio. It is Pro Baseball Today. Every Sunday right here on the SportsGrid Network. Love to talk Major League Baseball, have some fun, and certainly give out some winners. We will handicap every single game on the card today, as we do every single week. But let's focus here because we always have shifting numbers. Let's keep it in the American League. Aaron Judge coming back from the IL. Hasn't been great. Cal Raleigh finally hits a home run yesterday. He hasn't been great. Minus 180 price for Aaron Judge. Cal Raleigh to plus 140. And then there's everybody else. So based on the actual statistics here, right, and just looking at the betting numbers across the board, we are in a close race. But is it really close? Are we just waiting, Tom, for like, oh, Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs today. We go from a minus 180 to a minus 680 overnight. Are we just waiting on Judge to extend that lead and Cal Raleigh's basically out of gas? Like, what are we looking at here?
I really think that's what it comes down to. And you know, part of the take that I had on this, like right when Judge got hurt, was, you know, Cal Raleigh would really need to push for 60, 65 home runs. And at that point, he would have more home runs and more RBIs compared to Judge. But as I always also said, is that Cal Raleigh's going to bat 250 when Judge is batting 330. So outside of home runs and outside of RBIs, like Judge has every other offensive stat you could possibly want. You're looking at WRC plus, looking at WOBA, looking at WAR, all those things that lead to Judge. And yes, there is certainly something to say that Cal Raleigh is doing something positionally that catchers just never do. So there is something to that. But you know, Cal Raleigh played in the home run derby, and he has been kind of bad since then. Like I said, he finally hit a few home runs, so he is slowing down. Judge is sitting there. If Judge goes through a stretch, like you said, 2 home runs in a game or like 3 home runs in 5 games, whatever it is, he's just going to jump out to that lead, and I don't think Cal Raleigh can make up that difference.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like if we had like a lights out, because I know you had a small ticket there on Tarek Skubal going in with the MVP with, you know, big number. Boy, he had a real chance. If he could have just been lights out for like 2 or 3 of his past starts, you'd be like, oh my goodness, like he might jump in there. But it just feels like, Tom, when I see that minus 180, like the books understand he's the favorite. They can't really move it too far yet because he hasn't done anything. But just 1 week with like 4 home runs, he's really going to take off. And talking about taking off right now, the National League MVP. And I love talking about this, Tom. Every time I get a chance on the early line, every time I get a chance with you right here on Pro Baseball Today, Ohtani should be minus 2 million. He should be minus 2 million from now. Let's just say he never gets injured over the past 5 to 6 years. It should be Ohtani minus 2 million every single year to win the MVP. Nobody can do what he does. Be a shutdown starting pitcher and also arguably the best hitter in baseball at the same time with the same player. We told you before, minus 200s, minus 300s, plus 140s at the beginning of the season. He was going to run away with this thing. He's minus 10,000 now, and that's still absolutely a cheap price for the best player by far in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, this is a conversation that you and I have had a number of times. I've had it a number of times with Kevin Walsh, and he pushed back on that idea. He's like, "Oh, well, Tony's not going to pitch, 100 innings or whatever it is." I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Once he's out there, whether it's 40 innings, 30 innings, 50 innings, it doesn't matter. He's going to win the award. He's not going to bat 300, and we understand that. The thing that I want to see next year is, what if Schwarber hits 65 home runs, right? What if Acuna has 40 home runs and has 80 stolen bases? Like, what we need something to do, something to challenge Ohtani, to actually give us a market to look at. Because if Ohtani goes out there and hits 280, whatever it is, 40 home runs, 100 RBIs, any pitches, he's just going to win the award. It's that simple.
I'm telling you, and the only thing, Tom, that we worry about too is, again, I don't care if he wins it or not. Like, I don't have a ticket on him right now because I really don't want to lay $10,000 to win like $100, and most people are in that certain boat as well. But we start to get that fatigue on Ohtani. I'm telling you, they're going to hold it against him being a starting pitcher, saying that's not fair. You have to remove his pitching and just go by what he does as a DH. It's the only way to do it. But he is the MVP by far, and I will say this again. If he's healthy for the next 5 years, he will be the MVP every single year, unless there's just a bias that goes, we don't want to give it to this guy again, because he's far and away the most important player in Major League Baseball. Who would think like a $750, $800 million contract, an absolute bargain in Los Angeles? That's Shohei Ohtani. Let's take a look at those AL Cy Young Award-winning markets in the NL quickly here. Paul Skeens, minus 500 in the NL. Tarek Skubal, minus 220 now. With that Wheeler news, Tom, how much do you figure this odds market could change just today? Great Wheeler start, 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Bad Wheeler start. I think it's going to go either direction today in a big way. And what I mean by big way, it doesn't mean minus 10,000 Paul Skeens. No. He's going to move towards the favorite if we see Wheeler struggle today.
Absolutely. As soon as the Wheeler shoulder issue came up, that was the time to strike on Paul Skeens. Because again, even if they scale back Wheeler in terms of innings, the strikeouts will pile up for Skeens, and just optically it'll look like he's the best pitcher. And then Skubal, I think, will continue to pull away, even though Crochet is having a fantastic season.
Yeah, good pitchers here on the mound. We'll see how it goes. But every start now throughout until we see the end of the season, those numbers are going to change. Zach Wheeler, his spotlight is right now. We'll see if he performs down in Texas for a sweep for the Phillies over the Rangers. Let's get to the game in the Twin Cities today. I like runs, people. How about Tom? We'll be back.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on
Tom Vecchio, Donnie Rightside here, handicapping. It starts right now on Pro Baseball Today. And sometimes, here's Tom, I want to ask you this question too, because we all go through this right now. Like sometimes you get burned by a team, you have to throw that out the window and you have to reinvent the very next day, which means momentum is only as good as the starting pitcher the next day. If there's a pitcher you feel you can beat up, or if you pitcher that's going to hold down that lineup, you make appropriate decisions. One of those teams this week for me is, again, I don't handicap that way, but it's like, hey, man, I picked the worst game for the A's and sandwich in between 15 runs and 10 runs. You can't just give up on a team and say they didn't hit, so they won't hit. I'm not going to use them again. Case in point today, Kansas City's taking on Minnesota. 9-13, 9-14 on the rotation, a 105 start. Burgett's on the mound versus Kansas City. Not a very good pitcher. Jose Urania's on the mound for Minnesota. What does that mean, Tom? 2, 3, maybe 4 innings. It's a bullpen day for the Minnesota Twins, and that bullpen isn't very good. I just watched Colum pitch last night for the Texas Rangers, one of the better bullpen guys. Also in that same game here, I watched the Durantula, who got traded as one of the best closers. They don't have anything left in the tank. We look at this total today, 9.5. That's where it should be. 82, 83 degrees with a wind slightly blowing out to left field and a pick'em, which means those two pitchers, as bad as they are technically, they don't even know who's going to win this game. I expect runs today, Tom, and particularly runs from the Kansas City Royals. How do you feel about this game between Kansas City and Minnesota, which was very low scoring last night?
Yeah, so to your first point, you bet on a team, they lose. I'm willing to trust the system of or my process of I have things, and especially with baseball, it's a highly variable sport. The best hitters are going to go 0 for 4 at times. But if you are continuously betting on good lines at good prices, you will like to think that your process will bring you to 55, 60% win rate, whatever it is. On to today's game. Jose Urena stinks. His 4th team this year. If you are a pitcher and you are on multiple teams per year outside of being traded, you are not good. Coming in with a 5.24 ERA, 5.31 xFIP, giving up 2.42 home runs per night. His strikeout rate is 13%. His walk rate is 6%. He's a terrible pitcher and has been a terrible pitcher for years. You look to the other side with Burgett, again, a pitcher that was traded with the Padres to the Royals. No one to be worried about. He has a 2.83 ERA, which seems good, but again, a 4.89 xFIP on the season overall. Yeah. So when we're looking at today's game, at the top of the lineup, Yastrzemski, been a solid addition for the Royals. Garcia, Vinny P, Sal Perez, I certainly like that. Cody Clemens has got some power. He's got some serious power. Ryan Jeffers, Luke Keatshaw has been back after he broke I believe it was his wrist early in the year, one of the prospects for the Twins. But you give me 3-4 guys at the top of each lineup, I think we get some runs today. I know it was super low scoring yesterday, but runs today.
We should. We really should. It's nice weather, too. And also understand this. You take a look at the lineup today, which is down Bobby Witt Jr. You say, ooh, that's a big name here. Yeah. Yes. But also, look at the remaining batters in that lineup for the last 30 days, Tom, against right-handed pitching. We're not even talking about right-handed pitching being like Zach Wheeler right-handed pitching. We're talking about Jose Urena and a bad bullpen. Yastrzemski, ISO power number 175. Garcia, 230. Pasquantino, 243. Sal Perez, 333. India, 185. And Rav at 262. So you have some batters in there that certainly hit. And also understand this. Bobby Witt Jr., if there's a time coming up against a tomato can in the 7th inning where they have runners on 2nd and 3rd and nobody out, he's probably going to pinch hit today, and who knows what damage he can do. But I expect runs in this environment today, no doubt about it. Yesterday burned a little bit because 1 of 9 for runners in scoring position for Kansas City. Those things tend to even themselves out. I don't see anybody stopping. And also, when you're looking at team totals, right, from let's just say a Kansas City position or Minnesota, the one thing sometimes you do like, Tom, on the road is you know for a fact you're getting 9 total at bats. There's nothing worse when you're at home. It's like, other team, please give me a running mate. Because sometimes you say to yourself, this game starts, let's just say you had a Minnesota team total. It's like, okay, it's let's just call it 4.5, right? And the first inning, Kansas City gets 5. Most be like, oh, I should have went Kansas City. My mind goes, no. I just unlocked an extra 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning for my team total that I need here. You always want a running mate, and you might get that running mate today, Tom, in Kansas City versus Minnesota.
It's true, and so many of these differences are, again, you're guaranteed 9 innings from the away team. It also comes down to if you are building an HRR, parlay, a combo that you want to do. I generally prefer away teams and players that hit at the top of the lineup or in the top half, just because you are guaranteed just that extra plate appearance here or there. How many times? Throughout the season, I've been listen, if this guy gets on, he will have one more at bat in the 9th inning. And if he doesn't get there, he doesn't get there. If you just take them that place higher, you're going to be in a spot to cash that bet as opposed to not.
By the way, how many times have you watched, Tom, too? You do that math in your head, like, ooh, he's coming up and then a double
Every
play
day.
ground ball. It's like, I don't even get my guy to the plate here. I mean, we've all been through
Every day.
betting for as long as we have, Tom. We've been through every scenario that's like, this is a loser turns into a winner. This is a winner that turns into a loser. And, ooh, I'm going to get an opportunity and watch that 6-4-3 double play erase all your hopes and dreams of coming up next. Always happens here. Let's get to Baltimore. The Athletics taking on the Orioles. Morales on the mound versus Povich. 9-17, 9-18, a 135 start. And again, just like we talked about in Kansas City, Minnesota, Tom, 9.5s across the board. Favorite in this game, Baltimore opened up overnight as a -130 favorite. Still in that range, 130s to 135s, depending on where you're shopping at. Not a lot of innings pitched or batters faced over the past 30 days for either one of these pitchers. But when I talk about shutdown pitchers, that's not here. We're expecting double-digit runs, and we probably will get it today in Baltimore.
Yeah, we had a ton of runs last night. This game's kind of tough. It's weird to say that I think the Orioles should be a quote-unquote heavier favorite, but they're not worthy of it. Let's just call it what it is. Like Morales, he has 2 innings pitched. This is his first year in the majors. He got absolutely blasted in that time. So, like, we can't bet on Morales. You look to Cade Povich on the other side. He's had a rough year, 1.54 home runs per 9. Strikeout rate's at 24%, which is decently solid. 7.8% walk rate overall. His ERA is absolutely terrible at 5. His xFIP is under 4, which should be good. And I've talked about Cade Povich before. As I said at the beginning of the year, I had him on a dynasty team of mine. Like, I think he should be a better pitcher, but he hasn't turned the corner yet. So, point being, we have nothing to prove from a 2-inning sample size from Morales, but the Orioles aren't also good. So at the end of the day, if neither pitcher is good, neither bullpen is good, but we actually got some hitters in these lineups, why are we not expecting runs, Donnie?
Going yard is what you need. Nothing affects that total more like you get the buzz to your phone. It's a 3-run home run here, so power strokes certainly matter, and that absolutely comes into play as you take a look at this game. But 2 pitchers, sometimes you're right. You like to have that background, like do some research on it, but if they haven't factored in all that much over the past 2 to 3 weeks in Major League Baseball, it's hard to get a read. But also the odds makers are telling you that read isn't 7.5, like we don't think they're going to score runs. That's 9.5 expectations that those runs will be there here. And just checking some quick weather conditions there in Baltimore, 86, 87 degrees, Tom, light wind blowing out to left field. So certainly a hitter's environment, which is typically the case at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. We'll see if that's the case. And also home runs today from some of those power bats for the Athletics. That's what makes sense. Let's take a look here at Cincinnati taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Littell's going to be on the mound versus Burrows in 8.5 total, Tom, which opened up last night at 8.5, still sits at 8.5 right now. More of a pick 'em here. -110 split each side, -115, -105, depending on where you're shopping at. Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Don't love this game from my aspect here, Tom. Do you have any looks on this game between the Reds and the Pirates?
So, spoiler alert, I do like one of the pitchers in this game for pitching prop, which we'll get to a little bit later. And I think that does indicate that, not the most exciting game, as you said. So, if I had to pick a side or a total, I would pick the Reds and I'd pick the under. But the pitcher, specifically from the Reds, we'll get to a little bit later. It's just one of those games, Donnie. It's like we have this on a day-to-day basis. It's like, we have better games. It's just to begin with, it's not a great pitcher's park. There's not a significant amount of weather either way, positively or negatively. The pitchers are good, but not great. The lineups are not really good overall. I think we take the Reds, we take the under, and kind of move on.
No, you do, because you look at the Cincinnati Reds, too. Like, they should be better at the plate as well with the teams that they have. The one thing I will give them today, Mike Burrows is a right-handed pitcher. So if we're just going on right-handed pitching going up against the Reds, the last 30 days, Tom, they don't strike out that much, which means that ball's going to be in play. Burrow's not a huge strikeout guy. Last 30 days, 23% or so. Left-handed batters, about 20%. Right-handed batters, about 25%. But the K rates everybody in that lineup 21% or less, which means ball's in play. Good things typically happen. 86-degree temperatures, too, today in Pittsburgh with a light mile-an-hour wind blowing in of 4. So, Tom, we can't get you to buy an Ellie De La Cruz stolen base here? Come on now. You know you love those props on Ellie De La Cruz.
We can check. We're coming up against a break right now, but we can check the Ellie stolen base props, and we'll get back to it on the other side.
Yeah, take a look at Zach Littell on the mound to lefties. He's been absolutely lights out to right. He's given up a little bit over the past 30 days. His strikeout numbers here over the past 30 days, about 17%, which is pretty much on par for the season itself. 562 batters that he's faced, Tom, here. How about a walk percentage for under 4? He's not going to give you those free passes today, but always the question is, who can even step up in that Pittsburgh lineup? Like, if you give me, like, one lineup that I can't stand to bet, it's got to be Pittsburgh. Like, honestly, through the entire Major League Baseball. We're going to handicap much more right here on a Sunday morning. Come on back with us.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on
Vecchio, Donnie, Rightside, right here on Pro Baseball Today, SportsGrid Network. It's always our time on Sundays. Love to have this little weekly powwow, go over all of these games and set you up for a winning card on a Sunday afternoon. Down in the Big A yesterday, doubleheader. The bats really came to play for the Atlanta Braves. Second game, Marlins showed some life here. Not enough to get over the top. Game number one, only scored one run. Look at the bounce back today. If you look at the pitching matchups down in the Big A for this game, Cal Quantrill going up against Joey Wentz. Wentz is a left-handed pitcher for the Braves. Quantrill, a right-handed pitcher for the Miami Marlins. 903, 904 on the rotation, a 135 start. Favorite overnight, Tom, maybe on minus 125. It's going up a little bit higher. Anywhere between minus 130s to minus 140 in the sports betting markets. And a total that's listed at 8.5. The Marlins letting a lot of people down, Tom Vecchio, from what I hear, huh?
Let me down last night. I was on them for the second game. Again, I just don't expect many teams to get swept in a doubleheader. Cal Quantrill, I don't think he's a great pitcher. And looking back at either his stats or his game log, 7 earned runs against Houston is bad, but then he goes through this stretch where he's, putting up 4 games in a row where he's 2 total earned runs. Then he kind of has another blow-up game versus Cincinnati. Then he goes through another stretch where he's only giving up 2-3 earned runs. Like, it's not that bad. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. Joey Wentz is not a good pitcher either, though. And Donnie, I don't know if it's just, again, recency bias, just because I was on the Marlins last night. They didn't come through. But this is the third team for Joey Wentz this season. He has an ERA over 5, has an xFIP at 4.6 on the entire season. Am I wrong to say that I think the Braves are the right side, but I don't like their price, therefore I should just be backing the Marlins at plus money? Because, again, I'm a little bit biased after the loss last night. This is a game I just don't want to have any interest in, because Cal Quantrill, if I back him, he's going to give up 7 runs. And if I bet on the Braves, he's going to give up 1 run over 6 innings.
Yeah, take a look at Joey Wentz over the past 45 days, Tom. 26 innings pitched, a 4.15 ERA, which isn't disastrous, but it is high, but a lower xFIP of 3.94. If you take a look here and say, all right, well, what are we going to do with Cal Quantrill on that side? Not a great pitcher on his mind either. But if I'm looking lineup-wise, like lefty versus righty matchups, I think the better matchup is for the Braves at the plate once again today. You take a look at Jurickson Profar, Drake Baldwin, Marcell Ozuna, Michael Harris, and Eli White, all with high ISOs and weighted on base percentages here. Not a ton of strikeouts in that lineup, but then again, Cal Quantrill's not a strikeout pitcher either, only striking out 15% of the batters that he's faced over the past 30 days. 81 degrees in Atlanta, you love that, but there is off the chop house a wind blowing in of around 11 miles per hour. But again, it's a big stadium, it's a big wall out there. Who knows if that's actually going to affect anybody trying to pop home runs into right field. For me, Tom, I probably would go with the Atlanta Braves in this game just as a better overall team in this environment. But then again, you're right, you're going to lay minus 135, let's call it, on the Atlanta Braves with Joey Wentz on the mound. Let's get up to the Yankees. Entertaining game yesterday. Starts out interesting, middle of the game interesting. Yankees pull it out at the end in a much-needed win over the Houston Astros. They're going to take on the Astros, say, with Alexander on the mound going up against Max Fried, the left-handed pitcher for the Yanks. 9:15, 9:16 on the rotation, a 135 start, and a monster favorite here for the Yankees. Overnight, Tom, minus 185s. They're gone. They're all over. Minus 200 or higher, depending on which sports book you're checking into, and a total that's listed at 9. This isn't the Max Fried that we got at the beginning of the year, though, Tom, and he's a $2 favorite today.
This line's crazy. Like, this is a crazy line for the Yankees. And yes, Max Fried compared to Jason Alexander, not talking about George Costanza, like Max Fried is a substantially better pitcher than him. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Alexander has been in the minors for nearly a decade and has barely been able to break through to the majors. He's just not a major league quality pitcher, and he's been there because of the injuries that the Astros have had. As I said at the top when it comes to the Yankees, starting pitching, hitting, fielding, bullpen. The Yankees never get all 4 of those, or even 3 of the 4 on a game-by-game basis. Can you get the starting pitching from Max Fried, who has kind of slowed down over the past few starts from? Sure. Are you going to get hitting against Alexander? Maybe. Are you going to get fielding and bullpen work from the Yankees to warrant being a $2 favorite that you can trust Devin Williams coming out of the bullpen for the Yankees? Absolutely no way. If there's a side to take, it's the Astros and the over.
Yeah, if we look at like Max Fried, and again, started out, it's like, woof, they paid him a lot of money, no doubt about it. He's a really good starting pitcher. He came to the Yankees like, I'm about to be better than Garrett Cole in this place. No big deal. And of course, we know that Garrett Cole didn't even make it out of spring training without getting arm surgery. But let's just take a look, Tom, at his last, let's just see, 6 starts here, right? 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. 5 innings pitched, 3 runs. 3 innings pitched, 4 runs. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 runs. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 4 runs. 5 innings pitched, 4 runs. Like, he's not that shutdown guy. Like, you're actually approaching it as if it is, I don't know, the Colorado Rockies on the 14-game road, where it's actually a flyaway game back to home. It's like they're just going to be dead in the water. Like, this is an Astros team that probably should be able to hit Fried. And if you said more price appropriate, Yankees are always going to get that tax. We get it. Yankees aren't playing great baseball right now. If that price point was minus 150, minus 155, I might bite on that. But minus 200. And again, Tom, you're right. Like, Alexander's on the mound. The Yankees should absolutely hit today. But no way, shape, or form am I taking a pitcher that's giving up 4 runs a start saying, I'm comfortable with laying a minus 200 or higher.
No, and like you said, it's partly just the Yankees tax, or whatever, any tax for like popular teams. Again, a 150 price, like you said, I could talk myself into. We could have a conversation about backing them because of Fried, or maybe it's just the first 5 at that play. But over $2 favorite on Fried and a bullpen that's been terrible. Like, if the Yankees don't come through with 5 runs today, objectively a horrible game for them. I don't care what Fried does.
You're right. 90-degree temperatures in the Bronx, a light wind blowing out. No excuses for the Yankees here. And here's some of the reason why, because numbers just aren't pulled out of a hat. As would say, the Yankees, let's just put them at 200 because fans will bet them. Like, Max Fried has not been good, but he's a left-handed pitcher. I know it's a small sample size with the Houston Astros here, Tom, but their last 30 days, I'll just give you the ISO power numbers of their players. Pena, 0. Correa, 0.71. Walker, 0. Diaz, 0.62. Cam Smith, 0. Caratini, 0. Urias, 0.71. McCormick, 0.71. So you have one player in there, it's Jose Altuve, that's holding his own against lefties. And again, it's not 50, 60, 70, 80 at-bats. Most of these guys in the teens and early 20s, they just don't hit left-handed pitching. And maybe just banking on, Tom, they're not going to hit left-handed pitching today in the Bronx.
And that's really what it comes down to. You're hoping that the Yankees get at least 4 runs across the board against Alexander. Fried gives you 6 innings with only 2 earned runs. And then the Astros just can't come through against the Yankees bullpen, which has been struggling. And you're also hoping the Yankees don't make any errors and give up 2 free runs. So that's what you're getting if you're betting on the Yankees. And you got to be ready for a wild ride.
You do. Grisham, positive numbers. Judge, positive numbers. Bellinger, positive numbers. Stanton, positive numbers. Volpe, positive numbers. Ryan McMahon, positive numbers. They should hit Alexander, who's a right-handed pitcher. You know what he struggles with on the season, Tom? Left-handed batters. I'm looking at you, Grisham. I'm looking at you, Bellinger. Maybe Jazz Chisholm finally wakes up where the Yankees fans want him benched here. Man, oh man. Tigers are on deck next. Can they hold on in the Central?
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on
Oh, the Tigers right now looking in the rearview mirror. Who's behind them? Oh, no, Tom Vecchio. It's the Guardians right there. They need a win today going up against Jack Kohanowitz. That's the perfect recipe typically to get your offense going and back into good graces here. 919, 920 on the rotation. A 140 start today. The Angels with Kohanowitz on the mound going up against Casey Mize, the right-handed pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. A favorite overnight, I should say. Minus 200 in that range. It's dropped a little bit, Tom. Minus 188s, minus 185s, minus 187s in the sports betting markets today. 9 as a total. Some 9.5s are out there. Expectations are for runs. Why? Because Kohanowitz is out there. Every time he's up, Tom, I just feel like I need to fade that guy. And if you need to get your offensive doldrums out of the way and back into the win column, this is a perfect guy to do it against.
Yeah, I guess this is like the old boxing saying. It's like you need a tomato can out there, just like someone to beat up on. To get the mojo back going in the right way. And like Kohanowitz is that pitcher for the Angels. He's got a 5.85 ERA on the season. We know we don't love ERA here. Let's turn to his extra ball. That's at 4.91. It's still terrible. His walk rate is coming in, this season at 11.3%. His strike area is at 15%. He was sent down to the minors earlier in July, called back up because he's just a bad pitcher overall. We should be seeing runs. And it really starts off at the top of the lineup. Donnie, if you gave me some HRR combo of Glaber, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, and Spencer Torkelson, like 3 of those guys to come through and get you close to even money, I think that's where we should be seeing. Now, Casey Mize on the other side, obviously former top prospect. He hasn't been amazing this season. Like, I think he's been good. He hasn't been certainly amazing. The strikeouts aren't super high. The home runs can be a little bit of an issue. So I don't mind seeing a little bit of scoring in this game overall, but I do think the Tigers come away with the win. It's not going to be easy, but again, if there's any guy to get runs across the board, it's Kohanowitz.
Exactly. He's been really bad. And understand this from like a handicapping procedure here, right? A lot of people like it's ERAs, it's batting averages, it's RBI, it's ISO, it's weighted on base percentage. Like a lot of that stuff, Tom, is what has happened in the past. Like, yeah, he made great contact, he got a base hit, and that's what happens. But when I look at Kohanowitz, like there are some things that look at a pitcher where you can even take away like weighted on base percentage against or ISO against, because the opportunities are really what you're looking for, Tom. I know you take a look at BABIP a lot. It's like, hold on, man, the guy's making hard contact and his BABIP's like a 143. You know that's going to change because if you hit the ball hard, sooner than later, it's going to find the spot to land. You're going to get base knocks. Like if Kohanowitz has a 10% K rate over his past month in Major League Baseball and a 13% walk rate, that means nobody's striking out, the ball is in play, and you're giving free passes. And then you take a look at the hard contact rate, Tom, 64% over the past month. That means more than 50% of the batters, Tom, that make contact are driving the baseball, which if he's like some of those, exit velocity numbers, let's just call it 100, right? Oh, he had a great game. He had a shutout. Well, if I told you didn't strike anybody out, walked 4 guys, and every bat was hit hard, but they went to guys like, oh, I can't take it the next game because Kohana was his lights out last game. No, sometimes you have to throw some of those numbers out and just say opportunities are all what we care about at this point, Tom, where it's not about ERA, it's not about weighted on base percentage. If you're not striking anybody out, walking guys, and giving up hard contact rates, you're going to get beat up long-term in baseball.
You really are. And like, there are other stats that indicate that. So like, if you really wanted to dig into it, you could look at his called strike and swinging percentage, which is at 23%, which is absolutely terrible. You could also look at his Z contact, which is the contact rate that the hitters make of pitches inside the strike zone. So he's not fooling anyone, right? So that's to your point. If they're inside the zone, they're getting hit because he doesn't strike anyone out. And if they're not in the zone, that means they're out of the zone and he's just walking people with a 13% strikeout rate, therefore giving you extra chances to score runs. Like, he's a terrible pitcher.
I love it. And what me and Tom are talking about there is you sort of meld those statistics together. You don't want to sort of heavy lean to one side, but sometimes you say to yourself, man, like, again, I get back to those BABIP numbers, batting average of balls in play. Like, if it's a 500, well, if he's not making great contact, what's he getting, bloop singles? Well, that's going to change soon. But again, if your numbers are low, but you're making hard contact consistently, those numbers go higher. Same thing with pitchers. If you're giving opportunities to Major League Baseball batters time and time again to make hard contact, you're going to get beat up. We'll see what happens today. The Detroit Tigers get back into the win column. 9:21, 9:22, a 2:10 start today. Cleveland and Chicago. That's the White Sox. We'll set the table for this one, Tom. Cicconi's on the mound going up against Martin. 135's overnight as a favorite here towards the Cleveland Guardians. That's downshifted a little bit. 130s, 128s in the marketplace right now. And a total up from 8.5 to 9 here. Cleveland looking to make that charge, Tom. Before we head to break, what do you think about Cleveland here? Another win today, maybe a loss by the Tigers, and it's full panic? Jeez.
The more and more I think about it, like they're hidden right now. Like, how are we not interested in over 4.5 runs or some type of alt with them 3.5 with another team with 3.5, get us close to even money? Because they're moving right now. The lineup looks good. We weren't super confident in them prior to the break, but they got some hitters now against the White Sox. I think they get some runs across the board.
Yeah, we're going to go over this game after we hit the break here and at the top of the hour, but also going to talk about that hard contact rate against right-handed pitching. Boy, Cleveland is really racking it up right now. It's not a great-looking lineup name-wise, but don't let that fool you. Get into the numbers, which Tom and Donnie will do next. Hour number 2 coming up next right here on the Grid.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like, he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We've got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship. Fourth, like, plays great in majors. Almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win. He murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on